It's where it's at. You're listening to Left at the Valley. I don't know why you are, but you are.
I don't know, my lord.
Trust me, I got your back.
Moses, dude, where have you been?
Pharaoh, I've spoken to the God of Israel. I mean, the God of all gods, and he commands you to release his people. Pharaoh, let my people go.
Dude, you need to chill. This god of yours, does he know you killed one of my guards?
You did what?
Aren't you all knowing?
Whatever. Let's just do the plague thing.
Pharaoh, I will now demonstrate the power of the Lord by turning the Nile into blood.
Oh, come on. That's just the red tide. It happens every quarter.
What now?
Try, frogs. Try the frogs.
Okay, behold, Pharaoh.
Moses, you do realize that the Nile is right there? There's bound to be frogs. If you're going to make up plague threats, I don't know, use crocodiles or something instead of frogs?
All right. Try the bugs.
This isn't really convincing, my lord.
What's next? Locusts? We have them every week.
The Spirit of the Lord will come.
Listen, Moses, it's nice seeing you, but if Hebrews want to go, be my guest. It's not like there's really many of you, and we don't use you as slaves, so just go. You guys are actually boring me.
Ha! See? Still got it.
If you're heading back to Judea, head north, follow the coastline. Should take you about 6 days max.
Forget that crap. I know a shortcut through the desert. You're going to be good.
That's not going to make a very good story. And this shortcut, that's not going to take like 40 years, right?
Don't worry. We'll use creative writing. It'll be epic.
That's all.
Oh, that was so good. Oh.
Hi, this is Dr. Garcia, and I took a left at the valley.
I know we shouldn't have to scream that we're atheists. You know, we don't have non-astrologers and all that. But with the religious people taking over the world, I mean, we can either speak up or be pushed into a corner.
I'm proud to be an atheist, a skeptic, a non-believer, an infidel, a heathen. I call it how I say it. I say it's ignorance and you just call it faith and unsubstantiated claims. That's something to be ashamed. I'm an atheist.
Coming at you from wet BC, weirdo Florida, and wacky Texas, this is Left of the Valley 2.0. My name is Kevin, and someone messaged me to meet up in the woods for a naked satanic ritual, and they didn't even show up. It was cold. Joining me as usual,
Damn weirdos.
I know, right? Joining me as usual is the team whose new kink is watching anti-vaxxers die from COVID.
Unfortunately.
She doesn't dust because you came from dust and returned to dust, so it could be somebody she knows. Sabrina.
Nice.
It's truth. It's truth.
His wife asked him what it was like to have a penis. He said, it's hard sometimes. Fred Lee.
That's true. That's true.
And his wife also told him to stop imitating flamingos, so he had to put his foot down. Benjamin.
Hello, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, welcome back.
Goodness. Hi. Thank you. I
If
think.
you knew how often I put my leg on one, like my weight on one leg, that
So, in other words, accurate.
yeah, accurate. Very.
Oh, awesome.
So today we'll be talking to a returning guest, Mike Wiseman of The Bible Says What? And
Yes.
we'll be talking about his new book. But first, that's in the second half of the show. But first, this show is also brought to you by our patrons. You too can become a patron. Go to patreon.com/LATV and help support and grow the show. And we'll get you some t-shirts and mugs and stuff like that eventually on the road. So
Not far down the road.
not far down the road. We're
Yes.
working on that.
Give us all your money now.
Exactly.
Please just do it.
Sign up
Just
now.
in order to
Okay.
get you those t-shirts and mugs, you know.
Yeah. We're gonna have to buy those.
Well, no, we need the money to buy them first, so you know, we'd
Ugh.
appreciate some help.
Anyway, let's get into our chit chat. You guys remember Bolsonaro?
Who?
Yeah, he's the Brazilian version of Trump.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
And
dude.
just lead with that. I'll remember. Yeah.
You guys remember Brazilian Trump? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his response to COVID has been absolutely horrible, as we reported on the show. Right now, as we there's been over 604,000 deaths. In,
Are they trying to beat the U.S.?
They're getting pretty damn close, actually.
I know. Are they trying? Is it a race?
They've had who knows, right? They had 21.7 million cases of COVID and 604,000 deaths, and this is as compared to the world, which has 242 million cases and 4.92 million deaths. So essentially, 12% of the death worldwide from COVID have happened in Brazil. That is huge. That's huge. One country. So
sorry to interrupt. What's the population of Brazil? Is it comparable to the U.S.?
No, it was about a third of the U.S. if I remember correctly. I think it's 100 million something as compared to the was it U.S. 325? Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're like
here.
Yeah, 325 million. Yeah.
But when you think about it, see, the statistician, they think about percentages, right? So like, even though they only have, well, not only, but even though they have, what did you say, 600,000 deaths, if they have a third of the U.S. population as a percentage of their total population, that's dismal.
Yes.
Like the U.S. has a ton of deaths too. It's what do we hear today? 725,000 roughly. But that's, anyway, sorry.
Out of 325 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's less than Brazil. So that's disgusting. Like
we
that's
can easily say that Brazil didn't handle this nowhere near as well as the U.S.
No.
And the U.S. didn't handle this well.
No.
So this is how bad this guy handled this. And right now, his government is essentially turning against him at this point.
Good.
The senators have dropped a 1,200-page report recommending he be charged with crime against humanity.
Wow.
So, imagine if your own senators are turning against you at that point, right?
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, the draft still needs to be voted in by the Senate Commission. Bolsonaro says that's, of course, politically motivated. Even though I hate to say it, but it's unlikely that he's going to face charges because the prosecutor general was actually appointed by him. So it's one
it's one of those lip service things.
But Brazil really right now is starting to it is hurting as a country, and they're really getting tired of this idiot that basically goes, "Oh no, it's just like the flu."
It's like
whatever.
I actually have a friend that's going to be going to Brazil to get married in December. This is kind of scary.
Really?
That's when they change their plans.
It's not going to happen. He's marrying someone who's Brazilian.
Oh well.
Wear a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like a suit. Just get the whole space suit. Just go ahead.
Both, double vaccinated, and they've both actually had COVID twice too.
Well, at that point, if I would get to Brazil, I would actually look into getting a third booster shot at that point.
They are. That's actually happening before they go. Anyway, we don't need to discuss this. It's just,
yeah, we don't need to discuss the wedding.
No. It's kind of
so what's their first and last and middle names?
What's their names? Are they actually in love?
Names and phone number.
No. She lives here. They're just going there.
Why were they not invited? I want an invitation.
Where's my invite? I don't even know them, but I should be invited.
Yeah.
We're not
vacation.
Anyway.
You guys remember the La Palma volcano? We talked about this a few shows ago. Now the volcano has kind of gone into overdrive. It's destroyed 2,000 buildings by now and 742 hectares of land.
Wow.
There's been actually 42 tremors on the island Sunday. That was last Sunday.
Just in one day?
In one day, 42 tremors and up to 4.3 on the Richter scale. It's like there's small tremors, but still 42 of them. That's a lot of earthquakes.
That is a lot. Like you're walking around, shake.
Yeah, exactly.
Earthquakes are not fun. I grew up in California.
No. Yeah.
I was in San Francisco in '89. Like
we won't talk about that. I have PTSD from that, no joke. And I didn't live there, so
I was there. It was wild. I was running down the hallways and literally getting thrown back and forth against the walls.
My God.
That's got to be terrifying just to know that at any moment you can die a death worthy of Mario. You know what I mean? Like, that's just terrifying. Jesus.
I can't drive over a bridge without PTSD because of that. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
The last earthquake we had here, a side note, it was kind of funny because I was in the pickup and I was doing a report, and all of a sudden I just went like this 3 times. And I was just in a standstill, and I'm looking outside, I'm looking at the trees, thinking it's like 3 big gusts of wind, but the trees are completely immobile. I'm thinking, what the hell just happened? It was essentially 3 waves of the earth, and since I was in the pickup, I it kind of bounced around like
Yeah,
this, right?
yeah.
And I was like, holy crap.
That was during the day?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the only one I remember was at like 11 o'clock at night, and I was in bed.
Mm.
And I felt the bed shake, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that was an earthquake. And if I,
No, it was just good sense.
I was like, no, it's like, I'm just going to wake up in the morning and everyone's going to be like, what was that? And then they'll be like, it was a big truck. And yeah, no, it was an actual earthquake, but like a little figurine on my desk fell over. So I took a picture of that and said, we will rebuild. Because,
the chair doubled over.
yeah, it really wasn't that big of a deal.
I'm always so curious as to what it would feel like because we're in Florida, so we don't have earthquakes. We have hurricanes, tornadoes, sharks, and alligators. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
all the other things.
It's an interesting feeling. People that I know are in high rises when it happens. Those are the ones they feel the whole building. I mean, when the wind blows the wrong way, you feel the building sway. So imagine when the Earth's moving.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was in the on the
Freaky.
fourth floor when I was in Quebec, and we had an earthquake, and it was an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you are in an earthquake zone, even if you're not in an earthquake zone, it's a nice recommendation from your friends here to actually have some kind of a kit because you never know. If you have some
Always
extra
have an
food-
emergency kit
Yeah,
ready.
They usually recommend at least 3 days.
We
so
should really take our own advice.
We should. We kind of do actually. I got some stuff downstairs.
Anyway.
You guys hear that Trump?
Hey.
No, what?
Mussolini,
First Brazilian Trump, now
Right
regular
now.
Trump.
regular Trump, is launching his new social platform called Truth Social.
Oh my god.
No, not launching, launched.
Launch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then shortly taken down because he got hacked.
Yeah, it's a cheap
Yeah,
copy of Twitter, essentially.
Of course. I think he used Twitter code.
Yeah. Trump said he would, quote, stand up to the tyranny of big tech, unquote.
Oh my god.
Of course, Trump
Please
was banned
try.
from Twitter and suspended from Facebook.
Indefinitely from both, by the way. Let's just be clear about
Well,
that.
banned from Twitter, but suspended.
Yes.
It was just suspended for 6 months. If I remember
6
correctly.
months, yeah.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's an indefinite ban. They'll
Is it
they'll revisit it every 6 months,
So,
but it's not coming.
My favorite thing is this quote about tyranny from people that don't believe certain people should have rights.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right?
The funny thing is he talks about free speech a lot. It's open to free speech, but you can't really disparage or tarnish Trump or the site.
Right.
Which is kind of funny because I can go on Facebook and say Mark Zuckerberg is an idiot. And that won't get me banned from the site. But I could not do the same thing on this Truth Social, apparently, about Donald Trump.
I'm not so sure about that. You go and try and say Mark Zuckerberg is
You
an
can't
idiot.
say he is an idiot. You can
fast.
say
Okay.
I completely disagree with him.
Yes.
No, but you could say Facebook sucks. You can type Facebook sucks on Facebook. And they're not
Yeah, Facebook sucks is fine because that's an
Is
entity.
it?
They don't go after them for bullying. If you say Facebook, but if you say things on the internet, for example, the last ban that Amy got was "I sort of hate Christians." She got a 24-hour ban for that.
Yeah. Understandably, because they're going to say that's hate speech.
Yeah, I get it. That's fine. At least it's all across the board, right?
It has
Yeah.
the word hate in it. Like
Yeah. I said, what taught me
absolutely
a
hate
3 day. At first, I got a warning, but then they went back and they gave me a 3-day mute. Was the question posed was something along the lines of, "Why do men rape women?" And my answer was, "Because men are trash." And I said,
Mm.
"Blanket men are trash." Now, I think if I had said some men can be trash, I wouldn't have gotten the ban. But because I said a blanket statement about basically all men, even though that wasn't my intention, but Facebook doesn't read intention, so you just gotta be really careful what you say.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Trump's site is just doing away with all of that, right?
Yeah,
Unless it's them.
Yeah, exactly. You can say whatever you want, but if you say Trump
Essentially-
sucks, you're in big fucking shit.
Essentially, I don't even think it's going to go anywhere. It's just like that Parler and Mike Lindell.
Well, in his little
whatever.
blog,
Yeah, in his blog, it's just going to be a jump in the water for 2 weeks, and
Yeah,
it's going to be an echo
he's
chamber
really
at
trying to
best.
stay relevant.
At best. It's not going to go anywhere, of course. And of course, as Benjamin was alluding a bit earlier, it's already been hacked.
Mhm.
And the hackers have already. The
It was
hackers,
great.
they posted a picture of a pig defecating on Trump's personal
Yes.
page.
Yes,
Just wonderful.
because he's pig shit.
Brilliant.
Oh, well, you can oink about that for a while.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Sabrina, you got a top 10 for
Yes, I do.
This is quality
That's
Oh,
programming.
do
great.
you? Wait, Sabrina, are you sure you have a top 10?
I do have a top 10. All I have is words, though, so I expect you guys to help me fill in the details.
Okay.
You'll see.
Am I going to have to
I
make
just
hand
have to like
actions?
name the top
I'm already
10s. Yeah,
confused.
it's great. Anyways, it's Halloween coming up, so I'm just continuing with the Halloween theme, and we have the top 10 pop culture Halloween costumes of the year.
Pop culture
fun.
Halloween
Yes.
costumes of the year.
I need you to just pause 1 second. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, that one just kind of snuck up on me. Oh yes. So this week it's the top 10 pop culture Halloween costumes of the year.
So these are like costume ideas?
Yes, of 2021.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So if
So-
you wanted some costume ideas of what's popular right now to dress
Yeah.
up as,
Yeah,
there it is.
here it is. So number 10 is Venom.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Because why? Because the new Venom movie's out.
yeah.
it was
So-
good. I liked it.
I don't know.
I
how
wouldn't
you
know
do
because a
very-
certain somebody went and watched it without me, without inviting me. to
No idea
watch
what you're talking about.
Oh,
They gave
the
you-
gall of the man.
I'm very upset still, as you can tell.
Me and Nikki went and saw it last weekend. It was great.
That's why it's on the number 10 list. Number 10 on the list.
I don't know
'cause
how you
I'm
would
still
do a
salty.
nice Venom costume.
You go to the store and you buy a Venom costume.
Well, yeah,
That's exactly
that's like
how.
a black Spider-Man costume. It doesn't mean anything.
No. You buy the Venom costume with the mask and he's got his tongue out and you know it's Venom.
They have some
Yeah.
really elaborate one. Like honestly,
do.
dude, if you go online, like they have some where you can literally move your mouth and stick out your
Mhm.
tongue and shit. Like it looks
Mhm.
incredible. Some of them
That's
are pretty.
Yeah, you
fascinating.
know. There's no doubt.
But to do the idea, because the character of Venom is like semi-liquid, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know how you could make that effect. That'd be
That's not the
Yeah, no, that's
yeah,
true.
that's not gonna
That would
happen.
be hard to do.
no, that would
Yeah.
be fun.
So number 9 on the list is a couple's costume. Wanda and Vision.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
from
You
the
still gotta
popular
go to
television series WandaVision.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of superheroes thing on that.
Oh, I'm getting rid of them real quick on the bottom of the list.
Oh,
I'm not a real superhero fan, you know.
oh.
Culture, come on, that's really what's out there, right?
You just said you're not a superhero fan, but yet you're upset because you didn't. Go
I
see
like
Batman.
Venom. There's very few I like. I like Venom. I like Batman. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, number 8 on the list is Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah,
Always.
Always. Harley
I'm
Quinn's no.
I'm
Go
so
ahead.
glad that she became super popular. Like, you know, it was so funny because like nobody knew who she was for like ever. And then that first Suicide Squad came out and it was a terrible movie, but she was badass and everybody knew it. You know?
And it's easy to do her costume as compared to Venom. Her costume would be quite easy to
Yeah.
make yourself.
But
Yeah.
I got to ask a question for Bradley, who seems to be a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to that kind of stuff. Do you prefer the original version of Harley Quinn, where she actually has the hat, or the one where she just has the pigtails without the hat?
Well, yeah, because I mean, well, you got to keep in mind too that character was created by the 1990s television show. She she's one of the few characters that didn't start in the comics. You know, and she made her way there afterwards. So I actually do like the cartoon version. I like the red and the you know
The red and the black and
The little Joker
and the-
hat that she wears.
the little
jester. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
And
I
they
like
did have that in the movie, which was kind of cool. It was brief, but like it was cool that they
Yeah.
nodded.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
mean, it's kind of cute to see the Margot Robbie version, but I mean, it's overly sexualized. I think, which I
Yeah.
think is, I mean, it's part of her character, but it's not the character either.
Right.
She's just a lunatic, and that's what we like about her. It's not the sex appeal necessarily. So
Right.
I that's why I agree with you. I prefer the older version with the hat and the big hammer.
And the full suit, the full jester
Yeah,
like
the full
looking
jester,
red and black. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think I
All
like
right,
that the best.
nerds, let's move on.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Like they could go on and on and on. Anyways, number 7 on our list is another couple's costume.
Chip on your shoulder.
yeah,
Right?
totally no. LeBron James and Lola Bunny from Space Jam 2.
Oh, they were a thing. I don't know.
It was a movie.
Yeah, it was. I
Yeah.
did not see the Space Jam 2. So
Not-
Yeah.
It's not for white people. You can't.
No, it's not.
Don't do
You
that
can't.
if you're.
This is not a. This is only a couple's costume if it's a black man. Lola can be whatever because she's a
Yeah,
bunny.
well, that's
But
right.
Please, if you're white, do not be LeBron. Okay.
There was also a big argument there that Lola Bunny was trimmed down
They changed her
They
very
changed
much
down,
from
you know,
the first Space
because
Jam.
the first Space Jam, she's very sexualized.
Yes, she's
Yeah.
not sexualized at all. She's wearing a regular jersey and regular basketball shorts to her knees like a normal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she doesn't have these big busty boobies and the
And apparently-
no.
yeah,
Because
apparently
she
it's
looks great. I like her better in this
So-
version.
She originally was basically Jessica Rabbit, the
Yeah.
rabbit. Like, you know,
Yeah.
What I've learned here thus far is Kevin is very concerned of the sexualization of cartoon characters.
Yes.
you got to check out hentai. It's spelled HENT.
A I,
Hey,
not
not
IE, AI.
Okay, number 6 on my list. Moving on is Cruella de Vil.
Okay. Yeah.
Another easy
Oh,
one.
hell yeah.
Her
Okay.
movie this year. So yeah, it's a pretty easy costume to put together. Go to the store and buy one, or
I
it's not
hear it
that
was a
hard.
very empowering movie. I didn't see it. But
I
hear it
haven't.
was-
There's a lot of these I haven't seen. I'd be totally honest. Pop culture is like, whoo.
It'd be
Yeah, no.
fun to do like a mother-daughter costume of both Cruella de Vil and then the daughter be
One of the Dalmatians.
Harley Quinn.
Oh,
Because
oh,
They
yeah,
almost
yeah.
kind of they seem
Yeah,
similar.
yeah.
I don't know.
Look
That's all
into
I'm
the
saying.
S&M, you know.
I mean, of course, you can do whatever you want with cartoon characters like that. But
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that they did the same thing with the character of Maleficent, with Angelina Jolie. You know, they're taking it from a villainess and a good villainess, a good, and Cruella de Vil is the same thing, a really nice villain, and turning them into a tragic figure in a way. And it's not even that. They're also like a good guy. They're almost like an anti-hero. And I don't quite agree with that. I would prefer them to stay villains. Villains, they're cool.
I don't know. I prefer the humanization of villains.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, because most,
No, I
and
get
it
it.
actually just teaches you that lesson that honestly, like, most
People
people aren't bad necessarily. And
They're
most
just bad
people
things.
don't even, like, nobody thinks to themselves, I'm the bad guy.
Mhm.
That's not how people work.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
true.
I agree.
So number 5 on our list is Ted from Ted Lasso.
What the hell is Ted
What?
Lasso?
It's a movie.
It is.
No,
Yeah.
no, it is not. No, it is not.
No,
It is a
sorry, I'm
show.
wrong. Sorry. See, I told you, don't tell me. I saw the picture. I thought, hey, that's
Ted
an easy
Lasso.
costume
It
to
is a
make.
show on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, there
Apple
you
TV
go.
Plus. I'm going
Yeah,
to
I
plug
have
them in
that.
here a little bit because the show's worth it because it's like $5 a month for this, just this one show.
It's
They have a
worth
bunch
the
of
$5.
stuff on there, but that show is very upbeat, very get you in the feels.
Okay.
See, it's an
recommend it.
easy costume to make too.
So it's like Apple TV's This Is Us.
No,
Gets you in the feels. What? Like
it does get you in the feels. Yes,
Okay.
like
Recommended by Ben.
yeah,
Melrose Place.
Give it a
What?
watch.
No. Okay.
All right.
Well,
Number 4 is a group costume. You could go as characters from Among Us.
Hmm.
Not sure either.
It's not a show; it's a game.
Okay.
yeah.
Shows what I
It's
know.
fantastic. It's a mobile game
Yeah, and
where you
like
play as these little
uh,
characters on a spaceship,
Yeah,
and
so
you're
wearing
trying to
little
find the
suits.
imposter.
Yeah, it's so
Okay.
cute.
Okay.
Anyway,
And you have to judge who's the one trying to sabotage everything, and you have to like
Yeah.
vote people off the ship, and you throw them out of the airlock. It's fantastic. It's fun.
That's
Play
the
with
one.
kids.
it's a fun game.
Is that the one that AOC played and like
Probably.
was with like Hassan and Nabi and all that was like playing?
I don't know, but probably.
It was fun. I don't know. I watched
Yeah.
This
that.
is why kids say that things are sus now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the next one on my list, number 3, is also not a white person in costume, but you can go as Simone Biles.
Oh, okay. I
It's
know
a
who she
great
is.
little girl costume, is the way I think of that, because she's a great influence on our young women of today.
If you're going to Simone Biles, you better pump up those quads.
Yes,
That woman's got massive quads.
it's more about
Oh,
the
yeah.
costume, like the gymnastics outfit, than it is.
She's a fantastic.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yes. So number 2, I'm sure everyone except me, because I've actually not seen the show, will know what I'm talking about. But Squid Game players and guards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That one's a real like easy one. Apparently,
The girl's
what
not
is
the
it?
one with the plate, the face that's covered, and they have like a square or a triangle.
It's like a
Squid
fencing
Game
mask,
square.
essentially.
yeah, those are the
Where-
guards, right?
the
And
guards?
then
Yeah.
the players wear tracksuits, like green tracksuits and white
numbers.
kets, right?
They just look
And
like
white
prisoners,
shoes,
kind of
so-
like they just have the prisoner.
I heard on
numbers.
the radio that around here there's a shortage of white Vans or whatever the shoes are.
white fans.
Probably.
Oh,
'cause
no
everyone's
shit.
buying them. Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's buying them for Halloween costumes. Everyone's going to Squid Game. That's why it made number 2 on the list.
Wow.
And just to make this a little bit shorter, number 1 on our list is my personal favorite. And if I could pull it off, I would totally do it. It's Bernie Sanders on Inauguration Day.
Oh, with the gloves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the gloves, the brown
Oh,
jacket, the
love it.
mittens. You know,
Yes.
just yeah.
Bring your
Especially
little
if you're at,
chair.
like, a Halloween party and you can just sit. You know.
That's great.
Yeah.
I was so glad that blew up. That was so
Yeah.
fun.
I was kind of hoping. I thought it was a fantasy costume. You were saying that Bernie Sanders being inaugurated as president.
Well, that's
Oh,
definitely,
that's what I thought you were going.
definitely. I will have to agree with that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whether or not Halloween can be done with Mormons is something that.
Hmm.
Hey, Benjamin, you're up, buddy. What do you got for us?
All right, so I'm going to paint a picture here for you.
Okay.
On the airfield in California, it's past midnight, September 18th, when an unidentified Army staff sergeant taking a smoke break was approached by someone. But it wasn't just like a normal somebody. It wasn't just somebody. No, it was a ninja.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're approaching the guy, you're kind of defeating the whole purpose of being a ninja.
So you're slow down. I'm a
Yes.
ninja. And what's up? But-
So, and the unknown man in full ninja garb, including a katana sword, walks up to the staff sergeant and asked if the soldier knew him. The soldier replies, no. And this dude's all masked up, right? And then he asked him,
Worst
do you
ninja
know
ever.
where my family is? The ninja asked him, do you know where my family is? The staff sergeant says, no. Then the ninja begins to slash at him with his sword, striking his phone, knee, and leg.
You got him in the phone, huh? That's,
Yeah, the
never
staff
want that.
sergeant immediately began running through the parking lot to try to evade the unknown person. He jumped a fence and went to the administrative building where everyone essentially hunkered down and called 911.
A military base? What? Like, this is beyond our skill to handle.
Right. Well, I mean,
Then
that's just
call
not really that's just not for
911.
them to engage. But yeah. So
We're a
according to the
military.
report, the person in the ninja garb was kicking and punching the doors and windows.
Oh my god, I'm just picturing
He's
like
got
the
some handle
karate guy
terrorists
from
and AK-47s and nuclear threat, but a ninja.
No.
Well, okay. So just to kind of give them a little bit of help here, this is actually their protocol. They were actually pleased by the way it was handled by disengaging and allowing local authorities to handle it.
Sure. That's
Okay.
their way of saying we're wimps, but we don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
Well,
This
either
is
that
kind
or
of
they're like,
good
do we
for
blow
the
this guy up or not? Like, what do you
Like,
guys
yeah,
think? Blow up or
this
not
is
blow up?
not
Bomb.
good.
Where's the rocket
Do
launcher?
we take a vote?
Yeah, this does not look good for the soldier, the American, the image of the American soldier. This does not
Right?
look good for that at all.
Yeah, so the police show up.
Yeah.
They say the man refused to follow commands, brandished his sword at deputies. The man tried to run away, and they finally used the taser on him, in which he dropped the sword, and they took him into custody. He's
Obviously
been
wasn't
arrested with charges for attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, brandishing a weapon with intent to resist or prevent an arrest, along with vandalism and instructing or delaying a police officer. So they threw everything on this guy,
Yeah,
like
they did.
every charge they could.
It sounds like he was trying to like die by a suicide by cop. Almost.
Well, first of all, it's like the worst ninja ever. You don't just walk up to the guy. Hey, do you know me?
No,
There was definitely some mental illness involved.
Yeah, well, they say before they attempted the taser, they did use some sort of projectile rounds, but they were ineffective against this guy. So he's probably hopped up on something.
He's trained like a ninja.
Yeah. If he's not dropping to pellet like those rubber bullets, there's got to be methamphetamine or
PCP.
what's that other one?
Yeah.
PCP. That's the one I'm
You should
thinking
play
of.
that. Everybody knows kung fu fighting. So.
Oh goodness.
Except
Yeah,
he
let's not get
probably
a
really
copyright.
didn't, like so if he's
Yeah.
like a well-trained ninja and he's talking
Yeah,
to someone
he's-
unarmed and all he does is get his leg, he doesn't know what he's doing with that sword.
No.
No.
I'd love to see him like just trying to figure this out. I got an idea. Okay, look,
Yeah.
we're gonna.
Guess what, guys?
I got this costume. Okay, it was from last year. I didn't get to wear it last year for Halloween because of COVID. So I'm gonna, go into this military base. Ask them if they know me.
But this is one of those things that when I was reading this article, I was like, I need to make sure. I was like, I need to double check this isn't a satire site.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the first thing. Number one, this article was on NPR. So,
yeah, you got to fact check.
That's-
but I
yourself.
that's
still
solid
double
right
checked
there.
with other places.
Yeah.
As somebody who's done martial arts for a long time in my life, and have been into camps and situations like that, where we were training, this guy's gonna be a joke at best. I'm really shocked. I thought for sure you were gonna say the soldier basically grabbed the butt of his gun and just slammed him in his face.
I guess
and
he's
that'd be
not
it.
allowed though.
But
No, but
still.
how do you react to that? You're just like at this like airfield in California. You're running training exercises with your buddies. You're going out to have a smoke, and a fucking ninja walks up, like
Yeah.
full ninja garb, and he has a sword. What do you do?
You do. I have to commend him for what he did. Actually, he probably was the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, look there, Mr. Ninja Guy. You're gonna have to back off for a second. here, okay?
I'm asking so many questions in my mind. Did he have the classic katana with the curved blade, or do you have the straight edge Shinobi Tanto katana? I mean, anyway, I've got so many questions.
The little martial arts guy in you is like, hey.
It's like there's so much wrong with this situation.
It was a King Arthur sword. I don't know how.
I mean, after last week, I was like, how am I going to follow up Wizards? Oh, I get it. Ninjas.
Oh yeah,
There we go.
find a ninja. That's perfect.
Next week it's gonna be pirates and cowboys. There we go.
So I'm at the DMV and this pirate comes in, right? And it's-
I'd like to register my ship.
No. This happened here. Remember? I want to get my driver's license.
yeah,
I'm
the
the flying spaghetti
Pirate
monster.
Dregs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Pirate Drake.
Calendar heads.
Pirate Higgs.
Yeah.
see.
Although
Wow.
he didn't wear his pirate hat, he got a colander. He was wearing a colander.
Oh,
right.
right.
Calendar, yep.
And I just totally was trying to take two random things and put them together for comedic sake, and you're
And
right.
it actually happened only in
Damn it.
Canada.
He comes around.
That's probably why I picked him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Subconsciously.
Anyway.
All right, funny guy, trying to be funny. It's time for your turn to be funny. So
Oh.
it's time for another
Oh, no.
William.
That's when I'm bad at it, though.
That's when everyone's bad at it. If you're trying to be funny, you're not funny.
Exactly.
Doesn't work that way. So yeah, I got this. So I don't know if you guys know who David Barton is.
Name is familiar.
Right, he's they call him a pseudo historian, right?
Pseudo historian. So
yeah.
Okay.
Just somebody who
So-
read a lot of books. He doesn't have a degree.
Oh, see,
Right.
I hear that, and I think he rewrites history to fit his narrative.
There, and thank you. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Because like NPR did an article on him called the name of the article is the most influential evangelist you've never heard of, because he's.
Wow.
He really like tried to go back and say that like the Constitution had Bible verses in it
What?
and things like that.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
NPR like did like they were saying like the fact that you were born, like you had to be born in that country in order to hold office, right? That's biblical, right? And he cites
definitely
verses.
biblical.
Yeah, and he cites verses, and NPR like went and researched, like, yeah, this is a stretch at best. Like, it was just nonsense.
So in other words, it's always done what Christians do: just reinterpret things to make sure it fits his political beliefs.
Yeah.
Hey, are you sure that NPR is credible? They have weird stories about ninjas.
I was just thinking the
I know, right?
exact thing. Did we fact check this?
Dude, NPR is probably one of the best because I feel like it's like the news source that like academics look to, and academics folks are like harder to lie to. They are. 'Cause
That's
they've been
true.
full time
Yeah,
out. It's
yeah,
like,
we don't put up with your bullshit.
yeah, like I've actually studied in this field, dipshit, and
Yeah.
like it's harder to lie to them. But yeah, it's just interesting. So we have like a clip here
Yeah, I've
of
got it up
David
here.
Barton and his son. This is his son talking.
Yeah.
I want to say Timothy Barton. I want to say. Could be
Sure,
wrong.
let's go with that.
All right.
It works.
Little
Barton
Timmy.
Jr.
Yeah, little.
So shall we cue up this another brilliant moment brought to you by religion here?
Let's do it.
Right,
Yeah.
let's do this. I got it.
Pete Buttigieg did an interview just a day or two ago where he identified where he's been, and he was on paternal leave for the last 2 months because he and his husband just had a child. Now, he said they had a child. They haven't really clarified that obviously they didn't have the child because men can't have children, contrary to what, right, 2021 people want to tell
Men
us.
can have
that's
children,
not how this works.
by the way, y'all.
He said he just had a
That's the
child,
thing
and
they
so he's
can
been
do.
on paternity leave for the last 2 months. Now, paternity leave, it's one thing to be on maternity leave, right? When a mom has a baby and her body has to physically recover, and then she's taking
That's
care of the
not
baby, and there's
paternity
nurturing
leave,
involved in
then.
the baby, and right, maybe the dad needs to be home for a couple days to help take care of mom.
Couple of
Couple
days.
days.
What? This is what's so bizarre. Like, you have two men, neither of whom.
I shouldn't have said that, but I just couldn't.
Well, but this is the illogical position of it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because you heard Tucker say it, and now you've repeated it.
It's interesting that these guys don't seem to realize that a new child bonding doesn't need to just bond with mom. You know, mom doesn't need to be there just to take care of the child. The dad can also take care of the child. The dad also needs to bond with the child. This is what paternity leave is for.
And can I just also point out that in Canada, women can have up to, no, let me rephrase this. Parents can have up to 18 months of parental leave. And it can be the mother or the father who takes that. The only thing that the mother gets that the father doesn't get, or the birth giver gets, is 6 weeks of maternity leave, which is to recover from having a baby.
Yeah.
And then after that, you switch over into parental leave, and either parent can take parental leave. So let's just this is totally a legitimate thing, and this guy's an idiot.
Well, because they believe that hey, fathers are supposed to be creepy and distant, man. That's
Right.
how that's supposed to work.
Well, if you look at the numbers,
child and that's it.
If you look at the numbers, the group that engages with their children the least, white men.
Yeah.
Damn.
No,
Yeah,
white
that
men.
makes sense.
White men. That's a very interesting
men.
fact, but I think you're right. Yeah.
But it shows exactly what this guy's mentality is. He thinks that, as a man, your job is to go to your job, and that's it.
Yeah.
Kids and all that, that's her job. You just need to go out there and make money. That's all you need to do, and that's a happy marriage. That doesn't work that way, man.
Yeah.
We've tried this since the boomers. It hasn't worked. Okay? We need to change this. This is the reason we're having these laws and these social safety net standards. They're having a raising the bottom, if you wish, because we've realized that leaving mom at home to take care of the kids while dad's going to work all the time and no interaction between the two does not work. It does not raise healthy children. It just doesn't.
Well, the thing that they're not talking about either is he hasn't been not working. He's just been working from home.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Well, that's even worse.
He's still doing conference calls. He's still doing all kinds of stuff. He's not just take 2 months off, don't do a single thing. He's still working.
But even if he did, who the fuck cares? He just had a baby, man. You gotta take some time to be with your baby. This is nuts.
Now, to just make sure I'm thinking of the same person, this is just a gay couple who had a surrogate, right?
Yeah.
And the surrogate had the baby, and then they immediately, and I believe that there was some photos posted of them in a hospital bed that created a bunch of controversy.
I don't know if there was a surrogate or if it was adoption, but it doesn't matter.
Well,
I think they adopted twins.
Oh, they did? Okay.
So I'm thinking of somebody different then that's also in office that just recently had.
Yeah, this was the guy who was Mayor Pete before.
Yeah.
Okay.
He ran
So
for
I'm
president.
thinking of somebody else. There was another politician recently who I think they had a surrogate and they had a baby, and they took a picture in a hospital bed with this brand new baby and posted it, and the internet went up in outrage because they were taking a hospital bed and blah blah. Anyway.
I also hate the way these guys are kind of depicting Mayor Pete as weak for taking paternity leave. It's not a weak thing to take a break for your child.
No,
it is not a
it's
weak thing at all.
smart.
It's a smart thing,
Especially if there's twins.
The whole idea of man up and go to work and make some money is not a good thing. It's
And
not.
and they said a couple of days. It was are they alive? Okay, cool. I'm going to work.
Cool.
Fuck that kid.
You're
Whatever,
cool.
I'm outta
You just
What
give
the
birth to
fuck?
a baby, but you can handle it, right?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
handle it.
That's what
You
they
got
need.
this. Jesus.
But let's be
Christ.
real here.
What world do
The
they
thing
live
that-
in?
the thing they're not saying is they're really just mad that 2 gay men have
Yes.
babies.
Yes.
That's
That's
the main thing.
exactly
Like
it.
they're refusing to acknowledge that aspect of it because they
Mhm.
know how distasteful it is. But that's why they're needling at all this dumb, insignificant shit. You know,
Yeah.
because otherwise they wouldn't give a fuck. You know,
It's insignificant because they also believe that maternity leave is simply to recover physically.
It's
not
not.
just that.
Well, the
Yeah,
first 6 weeks
It's
is.
part of that, but it's also time for you to bond with your child.
Yeah, the first
Which
6 weeks is meant for healing, though.
God knows, I mean, it's important to bond with your child throughout the first few years at least.
Mhm.
So if you have a few months to do that first, that's very, very important.
So let's finish this clip. 'cause it
but
looks
real
like-
quick,
Finish this sentence.
real quick before we finish it, I'm sorry, but like one of the things too that's really obnoxious is like Tucker Carlson covered this on his fucking show, right? And
that's why it's
he-
here. Mhm.
Yeah, right. And he made the joke that, oh, how is he going to breastfeed? They can't breastfeed. They're men. Ha ha ha. And it's so funny. And they make the same damn joke. There's not an original thought in any of these motherfuckers' heads. I swear to God, I've heard that joke 4 times from 4 different fucking, right-wing pundits. You know,
And I would also like to answer to that. Men can buy things that strap the bottle on like a breast, and it is simulating breastfeeding for that child. So, go fuck yourself.
exactly.
Let's finish with that.
Yes.
2 men, neither of whom physically birthed the child, have been on paid leave. We have been, the American taxpayer, we have been paying their salary for the last 2 months to not show up, to not do their job. He's been on paid leave.
During
and
a
then,
crisis.
Right.
You wonder how somebody could be that dumb and still breathe. But once you start marrying a man, and then thinking that you have a child and you can take paternal leave, once you cross that line, it's not a far stretch to see things totally different. It's backwards.
When you remove the objective moral standard of biblical truth, right, and every man does what's right in their own eyes, then who's to say what's right and wrong?
What?
Oh my God, you stupid son of a bitch.
Man, go back to your fucking
so
Walton's
sorry.
house and
Yes,
just turn all the lights off and just stay asleep.
Okay.
All right.
So thus far what he
Weird.
said,
Nut
and
man.
he's using the term men, but if you can't take paternity leave or do anything parent-wise with the child you've adopted, so let's just say straight people, according to what he just said, even straight people aren't parents to adopted children. They're just watching a kid. It's just long-term babysitting to them. Like, what? Who would say such a thing?
And I also find it outrageous that they're decrying the fact that we're paying their wages, taxpayer paying their wages. I said, you know what?
So what?
I will happily pay more taxes if we get more paternity leave, and it helps create a better society as a whole.
Right?
Yes,
absolutely.
Where you guys should really be crying is we just spent trillions of dollars in a war for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's where your money's
and
disappearing.
they just committed to, what was it, $3.4 trillion in spending for the military over the next couple of years.
It's way more than that. The 3.5.
I mean, look at the spending Trump did. Like, he like tripled the deficit or some shit. It's unbelievable.
And it's war and military. It's not social. Anyway.
It's only arguments when it's convenient. You know what I mean? That's all it is. But,
yeah.
That was another brilliant moment brought to you by these religious douchebags, or however it goes. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Thank you so much for that. All right, let's take a quick pause, and when we come back, we'll be back with returning champion Mike Wiseman. We'll be talking about his new book.
Yeah.
Stay
Fuck
with
yeah.
us.
It's my buddy.
Hi, I'm God, and I just wanted to make sure to tell you not to listen to Unapologetics on Stitcher and SoundCloud. That's Unapologetics with an X at the end. But, definitely do not listen to the show. I mean, I swear to me, alright, I will murder my son. I kind of already did that, but just don't listen to the show, okay? Hey, Lucy.
Can you not call me that, okay? We already went over what my name is, okay? It's Lucifer.
Alright, look, Luce. You wanna come with me? I'm gonna go fuck with this guy, Joe.
don't do that, okay? Can you just leave him alone?
I'm gonna kill his family.
No, don't do that.
I'm gonna give him sores all over his body.
Don't do that. That's disgusting.
And I'm gonna kill all of his livestock. You know?
Stop saying things. Just stop.
And I'm gonna blame the whole thing on you. All right, let's go, bud. Remember, don't listen to Unapologetics on Stitcher and SoundCloud.
Hey, definitely listen to that show. It's awesome. It's really cool. He's really a dick.
I heard that.
I'm Amy with a Y.
And I'm Amy with an I.
And we're the hosts of Secular Soup, where each week we offer up a bowl of real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever else we want to talk about because it's our podcast.
Just listen to what these random dudes are saying about our show.
This is what would happen if Daria and Jane grew up and started a podcast.
So if you like extremely foul-mouthed ladies with opinions, this is the podcast for you.
Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.
All right, our returning champion is Mike Wiseman of The Bible Says What? He's here to talk about his book. He's a snappy dresser and a snazzy dancer. Mike, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. Excited to be here.
Awesome. For those that might have missed you the first time around, maybe you'd be so kind to give us a quick bio of who Mike Wiseman is.
Yes, I have a podcast called The Bible Says What. I talk to Christian leaders and religious leaders all over the world and challenge them on their beliefs using their own holy book. It's a lot of fun.
That must be interesting, to say the least. I know I've asked that question last time. I'm going to ask you again this time. How hard is it for you to get some guests sometimes to come on the show and say, because, I don't know about you, but if you're inviting on the show, normally you do a bit of research as to who this host is and somebody that looks at your show, which is a fantastic show, by the way. Love the show. If you haven't looked at Mike's show, The Bible Says What, go look it up. It's really great. The fact that you're actually using their own arguments against them, you have to have some kind of balls and more ballsy than most Christians apologists are. Let me say, actually come and argue that kind of stuff on your show.
Yeah.
So how do you do it? I mean, you get a lot of people that say, "Yeah, sorry, Mike."
Surprisingly, lately, I'm getting more and more of the yes. This sounds exciting. I'd like to come on. I can't wait. And it's like, are you sure? Have you listened? Are you sure you listened to the show before? I mean. All right. So, I mean, a lot of them are doing that. Some of them, I'm still getting the ones that are like an hour before the conversation starts emailing me. Hey, yeah, so I've listened to a few episodes and I'm not going to go on your show. It's not, it's not good for me. It wouldn't be good for me. Well, I still get that every once in a while. But actually I'm getting a lot more of the excitement. People are actually excited to come on and have that conversation, which is good. It's good for everybody, actually.
There you go.
Yeah, I actually just was listening. I went down a rabbit hole, man. Holy shit, you got some good shit there. Oh man, there's a lot. I think I listened to like 30 episodes in like a week or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun though. You do a good job. The most recent one, I was just like, holy shit, this guy's got script brain. Like he just goes back to. Do you get that a lot? You get that? Like when people just go into a script.
Yeah, for sure. They tend to all I'm finding as I do more of these is a pattern, where each one's going to go. And sometimes I jump the gun and answer their question for them. You're going to say such and such. So this is my response to that. Yeah, I try not to, but sometimes it's just like the pray the gay away guy. He was a very frustrating conversation. I don't hate many things, but I hate what that man does. As far as his punishing, he's got books. His books are horrible too. Oh, so he was a tough conversation. It was back and forth. He was really, he was very arrogant about it, and it was very frustrating for me. So I made sure I let him know, I don't agree with what you do, and here's my issues with it, and here's my issues with how you're coming about it. So there are a lot of fun conversations. There some of the more early ones I do get hangups. Those are fun.
No shit. So fuck this guy. I'm out.
I have to admit here that I haven't listened to a single episode because podcasts are dumb.
That's okay.
You can see yourself out, sir. You can. All right.
Who invited that guy?
He likes to bring us back to reality once in a while. That's what Benjamin does. Mike, I'll put in a plug right. I'll put in a plug right now. It's kind of interesting. Have you ever heard of Chris Christensen?
That sounds familiar. Is he that atheist Christian dude?
Actually, the funny thing is, he's a personal friend of mine. He's a personal friend of mine.
Those don't exist. That's a Mary Bachelor type of situation
so
there.
Weird. It's funny because he's studying apologetics, and I call him Chris the Christian Christensen. And he actually started on this very show. And by now he actually, I think he has a master's in theology at this point, and he's written a few articles. And he's an easygoing guy. He likes to debate. He's nice and soft and all that. I think what I'll do is I'll send him your way.
Yeah,
I think you'll have a nice guest there. And
fantastic.
Yeah, he's actually nice. He's a Christian.
Yeah,
and I feel bad for the guy because I hate to say it, but I feel one day he's going to realize he's studying all this for nothing. But nonetheless, it's his path. That's what he's doing. But
That's
he's a very, very nice guy. So I'll send him your way, and you can have him as a guest on your show. So that's good.
Love it. Thanks, man. Yeah, I love having conversations with theologians. They know more about the book than most of the pastors I talk to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's very good. Now let's talk about your book. The Bible says. So give us the synopsis as to what your book is.
Well, okay. So before the show, I went through my Bible and I started taking notes on all the crazy shit I found in here. And it just took up too much time, too much space.
Now, for our listeners that are just listening to the audio podcast, he's got this book, and he's got like several hundred tabs sticking out the top there.
2.5 million post-its in his
I read my Bible.
He went through the entire thing and it's highlighted a whole bunch of things. Okay,
there's so much in there. I found, man. There's so much. I had these note cards everywhere, and I didn't know what to do with it. I just had all these verses, and I started writing them all down, and then slowly it went to page, and then I started making chapters into it. And before you know it, I was like, okay, so what am I going to do first, the book or the podcast? And I couldn't stop my conversations. They were just happening regardless. So, and my book wasn't done. So the podcast came first and started that. And a couple of years later, finally finished the stupid book. And here we are. We finally got it privileged, man. I put all those note cards, siphoned them down. I got another book coming I'm working on, but it's so much in there that's wrong with it. And I have to point it out using the scripture itself. Because if you just say God's a monster, that's one thing. Yeah, we can all agree God's a monster. We've read the book, but which parts? And I like going through each one. And like the children, chapter 3 is the confessions of a deified child killer. All the kid stuff that's in there. There's so much wrong there, dude. The way he reacts to things is totally illogical and totally gross and gruesome, and for no reason too. He's a jealous God punishing children.
And you can actually come at it from like multiple angles, because if you're just alive in reality, that if there is a God, he's a fucking dick, man.
Yeah.
There's an all children's hospital down the street full of fucking cancer babies. You can take it from that stance, but then you can just like crack open the book and go, yeah, he's an asshole here too.
Yeah,
it's not only just reality; it's also this fucking book. Like, this is crazy.
Also, he's a creeper. So you look at some. I always like to point out that God must be into incest. He's made it happen twice.
Yeah.
First the Garden of Eden, then after he kills off everyone in the flood, and then there's the whole impregnating Mary without her permission nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's really into that kind of stuff. You know what? Well, let's do something fun here, Mike. Do you have an extra copy of your book hanging around your place somewhere? I'm assuming you do.
Like right here? Or right here?
Ooh.
Either of those places, yes.
I'm assuming you have an extra copy or two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do here. I'm going to buy that copy, and we will draw it to our audience. So right here, you hear it right now that we just had the contest for the trilogy of time charts. Our second book we're going to draw is The Bible Says What by Mike Wiseman. We're going to get that book, and one of our lucky listeners, we'll get into the details of that. But Sabrina will work all that, and probably on the next show we'll announce we're doing the contest. But that's going to be our next book, The Bible Says What by Mike Wiseman, and we'll do that to give that to one of our audience members. Perfect.
Hey, Mike, thanks, can you sign it for us so we can?
Absolutely. Yeah. Mike will sign it, and Mike, I will send you the money and all that, and we'll make it happen as soon as we get more details on it. So Keep a copy for us, please.
Will do. Thanks.
So,
man.
okay, so let's get more into the book. So you got child killers and all that, and what else do you think is really, really? I'm sure there's so many of them, but what is really outrageous? You think for somebody who doesn't really is familiar with the Christian God?
Well,
in your opinion,
just go through a few chapter titles here. We've got chapter 2 is the inconsistent truth. There's so much in there that just doesn't add up. Contradictions. You've got different stories, different details. Chapter 3 is confessions of a deified child killer. Chapter 4 is prayer is not a verb. There's so many problems with prayer. It's just the basic aspect of it. It just boiled down to nothing. It just doesn't work. Chapter 5 is the she is silent. I like that one. That's it's about women in the Bible and how Yahweh views them. He views them as gross and icky and less than men. It's really horrible. Basic instructions before leaving Earth, all the laws and crap in there. There's so many disgusting laws, and then he says in like 5 places, "It's perfect, it's holy, it's righteous." No, man, it's telling me to stone someone who picks up sticks, or oh man, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. But it all ends with.
Sorry, the basic instructions before leaving Earth. I can't tell you how many times I heard that goddamn phrase growing up. I'm sorry, but like that,
they love that,
it's
man.
Triggering. Okay, like
trigger warning on this one. That's
flashback.
For sure. No, that's chapter 1. It's called In the Beginning. It kind of goes through a little bit of my journey from Christianity to atheism, where I started, and my history and whatnot. A little bit of youth group story in there. Crazy stuff. I have the chapter 10's misrepresenting the father of lies. That's a good one because Satan is just he's not what they think he is, and he's kind of progresses and they change him as he goes along. It's fun. It's interesting. Chapter 11.
Actually, sorry, go for it.
Go ahead.
I was about to.
You go.
No, you. No, you go. I was about to say, the biggest thing that really irks me about the whole Satan thing is the serpent in the garden.
Yes.
Nowhere in there does it say
Satan
is the serpent. Nowhere in there does it say that. It just says there's a serpent, there's a snake. That's all it says. But at the end in Revelation, there is that one line that says, "Oh, Satan, that mischievous snake," or something like that. And that's the justification going to the end of the book to justify. It must have been Satan at the beginning. It must have been. It is so shamelessly made up.
And he says true things. He says the true things, whilst God is the fucking liar.
Right.
What the fuck?
But also with the Bible, it's the whole like Satan in the version of hell, because the version of hell in the Bible is very different than like the Christian point of view of hell, because a lot of it's like essentially Bible fanfic that people have written.
Yes,
right. It is fan fiction for sure. It's
Dante's Inferno is a perfect example of that. That's our depiction of modern hell. Dante's Inferno. It never came from the Bible at all.
Nope, it's fanfic.
So fun, isn't it? Though
pick it apart. It's fun. I agree with you. Like I love it, dude. Honestly,
love picking it apart. You think people should read your book in one hand and the Bible in the other? Go back and forth and say, "Oh, yeah, you probably should."
For sure, like because what I do is I put verses into the. Well, I'm just gonna read something for you here. There we go. What is this? I don't even know what chapter this. Chapter 7. For Yahweh so loved himself, because God is so self-centered. He wants those who have killed animals to any god other than him to be destroyed. Exodus 22, verse 20. He calls for the death of those who invite others to worship a different deity. If your very own brother or your son or your daughter or the wife you love, not the other one, or your closest friend secretly entices you, saying, "Let us go worship other gods," Yahweh wants you to show them no pity, commanding that you do not spare them and that you must certainly put them to death. Deuteronomy 13, 6-9. Yahweh wants you to stone them to death because they tried to turn you away from him. Deuteronomy 13:10. Worship or sacrifice to someone else, and the temperamental Christian deity will have you killed.
It shows so much insecurity
Oh,
because
yeah.
this is something a cult leader says. It really is. It's something.
Yeah.
Don't go there, man. If somebody comes to you and say, "Let's go to this church instead," which nobody does that. Nobody ever. Who comes to you and says, "Let us go worship other deities"? Nobody says that. Nobody's ever said that in the history of mankind.
But this is like a move from the abuser playbook. It's like if you talk to anybody else, if anyone else tries to dissuade you from me, they need to be gone from your life.
Yeah.
Not just gone.
It's called
obliterated.
Obliterated.
To me, stoned to death in public while I'm nodding emphatically.
Yes, I agree with that. Do it. Throw the big rock.
Last week we did the skit with Benjamin and Brent Lee there, where Moses is ordering the guy that picks up sticks on the Sabbath to be put to death. and the guard, Benjamin plays the guard, and Benjamin basically said, "Wait a minute, if we're picking up stones, isn't that considered work?" Oh yeah,
that's good. I like that.
Time down.
Hey Kevin,
Yeah.
Kevin, it's not work if you love it.
True. But then the guy says, well, let's time down. Well, wait a minute. If we time down, isn't that considered work? Yeah, it is too. Let's saunter around him and trip over him and entangle him in a way where he can't really release himself.
There you go.
Which is most of like what shit people are like, where they have other people like coming. Hey, are you Jewish or not? Oh, you're not. Okay, then you can flip our switches on and off.
Can you turn the oven on for me? I'm kind of hungry.
I mean, they must really love these
links we go to.
All these smart devices now, because I can change my thermostat. I can turn off my lights on and on with my voice. It's fantastic.
Yeah, as long as you do it before Friday evening. Right? Before you do it before Friday evening and Saturday evening, you could get all that done, right?
Yeah, you can be in bed. Like, turn the oven on.
They have smart ovens. They do have smart ovens that you can just tell your Google device to turn the oven, preheat it to 450. You're good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because it's on Saturdays. Jewish folks are like, "Oh, look, we need everything to be automated." Okay,
right.
Like,
God's gonna get pissed.
We need R2 to come out and cook our fucking food for us.
Which I'm surprised conservative Christians have not come up with that yet. Saying the Jews are behind big tech. I'm surprised they haven't come out with that yet, because it'd be such an easy one to do.
Well, now you just introduced the idea.
I might have just released the genie ball right now by saying that. The funny thing is, I love the excuse the Judaism uses for saying that, saying, "Well, God is perfect, so if you find a loophole, that means it was kind of meant to be found." So that's what it's meant to be exploited as well. So,
I like that line of reasoning. It's convenient.
It's that post-hoc rationalization there. Yeah.
Mike,
fun.
do you ever plan on doing another book like that, but maybe with like the Quran?
I have been asked a lot lately about the Quran.
The Quran says what?
Yeah, exactly. And I maybe. I'm still working on the Bible. There's still a ton of pastors and religious leaders, podcasters, authors, and whatnot that still want to have that conversation. So, and there's still so much in here that I've read and forgotten. I haven't even looked up in depth. So there's so much more still to do. I mean, maybe in the future, for sure. Like, the Book of Mormon says what, and the Quran says what. Expand on it for sure. It needs to be done. Somebody needs to do it. You have my blessing. Do it.
Don't forget the two other books the Mormons have.
Oh,
Pearl of Great
Price. A lot of work. It's just
the
so much
Doctrine
work.
and Covenants and Pearl of Great Price. There's like 4 books total. We had these whole things. They were thick. It was all in one book.
Man.
Oh
God.
Yeah, let me get to the Bible first.
Mormons, dude.
I'm working on the second book now. I mean, I've got it already outlined. I'm going to get that going. Then maybe we'll switch over to the Quran.
It's like, let me finish what I'm doing, man. Like, come on, get off. All right. Like, okay.
Which version of the Bible are you using, Mike, for your book?
Was that?
Which version of the Bible are you using for your book?
Well, funny story. I was using my Bible here, this NIV, until I realized that this NIV that I stole out of a hotel room is different from every other NIV out there. It has it's just different words randomly there. And I'm like, that doesn't add up with the one on the line there or that book over there. So I'm like,
you got to check the date there.
So now I got to research in depth into my own goddamn version that I picked to use. It's so frustrating. But that's where I am. It's where I'm at. I'm happy with it. My book, I love the way my Bible looks. It looks awesome. I'm gonna carry it to church one day.
We just saw a video on apologetics. You got a paperback Bible. It's not good enough, man. You gotta have a hardcover. Apparently.
Yes, it was a cover of Baby Got Back.
Wait.
Yeah. So there's this cover of Baby Got Back, but instead it's Baby Got Bible.
No, book.
A book?
Baby got book.
Yeah.
Baby got book.
Because I do Bibles and I cannot lie.
It's horrible. It's horrible, dude.
It is. It is the most. I couldn't believe that this was happening when it happened. It was.
I mean, I still have the video on my computer. If you want to,
Oh no.
No.
Punch it up for 2 seconds, Ben. Punch it up.
I'm okay.
Punch it up.
Let's see.
It's just too funny.
I prefer Jesus as my friend. Jesus is my friend.
That one was so good.
I have a friend in Jesus. I love that song. It's so catchy.
Here we go. I'm gonna load it up so Kevin can fire it off real quick, just so you get like an idea of what's happening
Just
here.
real quick, because we have to see what they think about Becky's book.
Becky's book.
Oh my goodness. Becky, look at her Bible. It is so huge. She looks like one of those preacher guys' girlfriend. But who understands those preacher guys anyway? They only talk to her because she looks like Mother Teresa. Okay. I mean, but look at it. It's just huge. It's gross. She just looks so righteous.
I like big bubbles and I cannot lie. You preaching brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with a KJV and a bookmark in Proverbs, you get stoked. Got a name engraved.
Okay, that's enough.
That's all we're doing.
That needs to be sent to me. I need to share that with people, and my wife. She needs to see this. That is hilarious.
We watched this entire video on our panel stream. Oh my god, it's so horrible. And the guys have taken to do this one of those every week just to torture me because it's just so music.
That is so funny.
Oh wait, you just wait till this Wednesday.
Oh no, they get worse from Wednesday to Wednesday. I don't know how it happens.
I don't know how
Honestly,
it happens. It just gets worse.
Incredible.
Every time it's like a non-ending pit of despair.
I need to find more things like this. I'm very excited right now.
Those are great. Churches make the weirdest shit, man. Like and they think it's so good
and hip,
So
they're hip,
They try so hard to be hip, and that's the uncoolest thing ever. When you try to be hip, you're not hip.
It just makes it worse.
You try to be cool, you're not cool. You're just not.
They should have learned that in high school, man. Like,
The problem is they were probably homeschooled.
Good point.
I was homeschooled.
I was the coolest kid in my school.
Says my mom.
That's my mom. My mom
I
told
never
me the
understood.
kids made fun of me because they're jealous.
I never understood trying to be cool at all. That's why, I'm lame.
That's why you've reached epic coolness. It's because you haven't tried.
Right.
I mean, Brent Lee was valedictorian and class president and prom queen at the same time.
I learned more than everybody in that household. And
I told this goth kid in high
smarter.
school that I was more goth because I didn't give a fuck at all because I just wore the shit that I pulled off my bedroom floor that morning.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, Mike, for the budding atheist that comes in and stumbles upon your book and the Bible, what would be your recommendation for these people to start learning about the reality of the Christian God and all that?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no. Chapter 1 through 13. Just start there. And 13 chapters.
All the chapters.
No, there's so much in here. Like, I don't even know. Like, I guess chapter 2, because the inconsistent truth, that right there starts you off with the shit that's doesn't add up with it, Sabrina, what's up? The shit that doesn't add up.
She's back. She's back. She's back. She's like Mold. She always shows up when you least expect her.
You should come and smoke.
Ninja.
Yeah.
We have one of those on the show
Machine,
too.
so I can do that. Yeah.
We have one of those on the show today as well.
Yeah, we did. I'm the ninja today.
Love it.
Anyway, continue with your answer,
Sorry.
Mike. Sorry,
I was listening.
Oh yeah. Chapter 2. I mean, good. Start off there with the inconsistencies and the contradictions. Then chapter 3, I guess, with the child killing. There's so much in there that just makes him such a horrible person, if he even was a person. So when they start to tell you that he's a great God, no matter what he does, you can point out these certain verses. He's starving children, he's slaughtering children, he's drowning them, because he regrets making them. All kinds of horrible things that can be used.
Do you feel that, I think the average Christian, and I was the same way, reads the Bible, from cover to cover, if they can manage. But it's like reading any story. You go into it and you accept this world, right? No matter how much it doesn't make sense. But once you put a book like yours by the side of it, and you go back and forth, and say, wait a minute, and then you start really analyzing, then you realize this is where you realize the story doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
This is where you see the inconsistencies, and I think this is what we don't see on the average Christian. Anyway.
Yeah, no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the local church and sit one of these in front of every pew, so they have it right next to their Bible, so they can just, it's like a reference thing.
Yeah. Well, it's really sad when Dune is more consistent than fucking the Bible, man. Like that's embarrassing. Nobody wants to
call it like the Bible's almanac or something.
Right.
The guide, the study guide to the Bible.
Study guide, I like that. No, it's so funny how they just constantly, God is good, he's awesome, and this is the Bible is where you find out about him and his attributes and his characteristics. Well, guess what, dude? His characteristics are horrible. He's a disgusting person, a human being, if he was a human being. And to find that out, reading Bible says what?
But that's not what it meant, bro. No, you're not reading the context, though,
yes,
man.
exactly. Look, we get into that a little bit here with the context as well, because for sure, they always say you're taking it out of context. Well, let's go into the verse. Let's go to the beginning of that fucking verse. Let's go to the beginning of the chapter, and let's find out where this starts. Like the whole Satan thing,
I know it says that, but that's not what it meant. Okay, and let me. Sorry, my doctrine. Look, my doctrine.
Jesus is telling me the truth.
Okay, to your question, let me ask you a question that is not related to your question in any way, shape, or form, so that you forget that you asked this question.
Yes. That's why I write shit down, because they do that.
They do that all the time.
And just keep talking like, I don't even remember what I asked you at this point.
To support what Brent Lee was saying, I mean, for example, I remember having this argument with the guy, when they talk about the Genesis and the creation in 7 days. So no, back then, days didn't mean a 24-hour period.
Oh, I heard that one.
But the thing is, you hear that all the time. But if you look in the original Aramaic, yes, it actually did mean a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
But they just make it fit their narrative because they know full well there's no way to hell you could do this kind of stuff in just normal 7 days.
Right.
Especially when the sun was created on day 4. So
yes.
There was evening and morning 3 times before the fucking sun existed. Why section it off in days? Don't do that.
If that day happened without daylight.
That's right.
Yes. For the first time ever.
Plants were growing. There was no sunlight whatsoever, but plants were growing.
I mean, that does happen like in the north and the south, right? They have 24-hour daylight and 24-hour night.
Sure.
True, but we don't call it morning and
much,
night, do we? I mean, it's like, well, I guess
say
we do.
evening and morning.
Good argument.
No, yeah, you can have 24-hour nighttime.
Yeah. I have
northern region.
I have someone I know that was up there, and it was like, they'll say they'll meet you at 3, but they don't know if they mean 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. because at that time you really don't know the difference between.
That's why we say 1500.
Yeah, exactly. That's military time makes sense there.
Also,
I always get the argument that no, God was the sun at that time, bro.
Yes, yes, I was gonna say that.
Oh, God was the sun.
Dude. Where does that say that?
God was so stupid. He doesn't even know that God can be a sun or not. What an idiot! You're an idiot.
Days are different from God. They're different for him. They last longer.
If you're telling me that
thousands of years.
Well, if you're telling me that God was a big ball of hot gas, okay, I can take that. Big ball of hot air.
That's what it is.
I can accept that. I can
Yeah.
totally accept that.
Yeah.
I'm a big ball of gas, but there's nothing hot about it.
No.
I don't know, man. When you
My
talk
voice
in that
is-
low voice,
Oh yeah.
just,
Or Kevin's been trying to tell me something and
gets
it's
me
so
wet.
I want to give you the heads up there. We decided to acquire one of Mike's books there. And
Okay.
that's going to be our second draw. So I know
All
you're,
right.
you're doing the contest thing, so I just want to give you the heads
All
up.
right, I'll get it set up.
He's
Could
going to
have told
automate.
her that later.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay.
He's excited.
I'm
It's
excited.
okay, let
It's
him be.
fun. Yeah, it's cool.
It's all
What
good.
is excitement?
Nice job, Kevin.
Michael agreed, so like that is, he's happy about that.
And if you contribute right now to Mike's Patreon and Mike Wiseman on his Patreon, he will send you a case of Coors Light. Right?
Yeah.
He will our name. He will do.
They'll all be
that.
empty. I'll empty them out for you.
Yes.
The bottles will tell you if it's cold or not.
Yeah, you do that though, and you're gonna
It's
get that
crazy.
one weirdo that's gonna be like, Michael's lips touch this. Oh yeah. Mm.
All right, no, you're not allowed to have any, Ben. Sorry.
Yes.
Damn it.
That voice is too
You knew
real.
I was the
Sorry.
weirdo.
We're not allowed to enter our own contest.
That's right. So Mike, what's in the whole Bible? Like God knows, there's a lot of stories. Give me your top 3 favorite stories. Ones you really say, God, I love that story because it's so stupid.
And it's so easy to prove them wrong. Let's go with that one.
Yeah, I don't really have any favorite ones. Like, oh, I love this story. I love going back to it. I really don't. I think they're all horrible and graphic and disgusting in their own individual ways. I guess like one of the worst ones for me is that the flood, the plagues. Because when you dive into those and what really happened and what's as part of the book says anyways, as opposed to what the Christian across the street's gonna be like, oh yeah, the flood had to happen because such and such and such. Read the damn thing. Let's find out what happened. He regret making people, and then during the Passover. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
So
why do people celebrate this shit? It doesn't make any sense to me.
The Old Testament. The whole Old Testament is just like, well, I mean, the whole Bible is actually kind of okay.
Yeah, I mean, even the shit in the New Testament is with the hellfire, and Jesus doesn't come to bring peace; he brings a fucking sword. So watch out, there's so much.
Slaves obey your masters.
Slaves obey your earthly masters, so as you would Jesus. So it's like Jesus is put in the same pedestal as slave masters. What the fuck, man?
It's funny we did a skit about the plagues today.
It's so
Then, like,
bad.
It's about
That
stupid
drives-
stories in the Bible, and it was like that's yeah.
Mike
drives me nuts.
First kids.
Yeah, apparently.
It drives me nuts that like how many times did Jesus go, "You've heard this, but I tell you this," and never thought to include slavery is like, hey, you've heard this, but as I tell you, don't fucking
do that.
own people as property because that's shitty. You're like,
Yeah,
really?
no.
We couldn't do that.
Left it
No,
out.
he's like, obey them no matter what. That's
It's a good book. Left it out. Forgot.
And they all and everybody that I've brought that up to is like, yeah, but I mean that's like your boss, you're under your boss,
Right.
and he's a dick, and you got to do what you got to do to like, are you
Where's that
serious?
gotta water it
That's
down.
what you got from that, dude? Really?
Yeah.
Fucking, it's unbelievable.
They have to water it down for it to be acceptable to them, and it's disgusting. It's really terrible.
Well,
It's
if you
the same thing
mention
with their
that-
God and what he does too.
If you
So
mention
terrible.
that Jesus like hung out with criminals and sinners, and that's really like who he really wanted to associate with, they're like, no, that's not true.
No, that's classic Jesus.
That-
When you talk about a Republican Jesus,
That's not what he was preaching
You're
for us
taking that out
to
of
do.
context.
Jesus and John Wick were like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were just
Oh god.
assassins. Like it was, yeah.
Anyway,
John
yeah,
Wick, an allegory for Jesus?
I don't want to say it, but I'm
Mind
saying it.
blown.
Okay.
That reminds me of this little cartoon I have got on my phone here. At least it says, the priest goes, and Jesus said, "Give all you have to the poor and follow me." Then he takes a pause and says, "Today I shall explain why he didn't really mean that."
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
That is Christianity in a nutshell, right there.
It is.
Or modern Christianity.
Yes, yeah.
It's like you gotta hate
Republican
your
church.
mom and dad.
Right. Jesus says that you have to hate your family to follow me if you want to be a disciple. And Christians are like, oh no, that's not what it means. No, you're silly. You're silly.
That's what the Old Testament applies, where you honor thy mother and thy father.
I know I said to honor your father and mother, but look, guys, go ahead and hate him. Go ahead and hate him. All right, look, come follow me.
There's some of the Bible stories where it's so shamelessly, like last minute made up. You know, kind of the story that doesn't. It's not even like an epic story within the story. It's just like stupidly made. You know, like when the Romans arrest Jesus in the garden, and then Peter comes in and draws his sword and cuts off a Roman's ear. For some reason, he cuts off the ear. I don't know why. And then, but Jesus,
bad shot.
It's pretty bad aim.
Yeah.
And then Jesus
didn't practice.
Glues it back on. You know, puts it back on. Like minor miracle. Puts the ear back on. These soldiers are still arresting this guy. Apparently, it's like it is so bad.
There's so much of that. There's one with Moses on his way to Egypt to free the people from the slavery and whatnot. Yahweh randomly stops him at a lodging place. It just cuts off in the middle of the story, and it starts. Moses was at a lodging place, and Yahweh was mad at him. He tried to kill him. So Moses' wife cut off part of the kid's foreskin, said some magic words, and threw it at his feet, which apparently scared Jesus. I guess Jesus and Yahweh are the same person. So it scared Jesus away enough to where he didn't want to kill Moses anymore, and then just continues to pick up where the story left off. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
That sounds like a ritualistic blood spell.
It's so weird. So weird.
I
You find that in
like
chapter
foreskins.
Chapter 11 called Penis Jacket. It talks all about the circumcision and bullshit in the Bible. I had to title it. It just fits so perfect.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of an old joke that said somebody had a wallet that was made out of foreskin, but if you rub it long enough, it becomes a briefcase.
Need some extra space? Here, rub this.
Why is God terrified of foreskin? That's so weird.
But that is so weird.
Why are the people who wrote the Bible terrified of foreskin?
Yes,
that's what I want.
There you go.
Well, you know what?
That's a good question.
Somebody who came at me with a bloody foreskin and tossed at my feet, I too would be whooped.
Okay, holy shit, these people.
I'm gone.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Bro, fuck.
We're not doing this.
No.
We're not doing this at all.
I think it's kind of like kryptonite to him, though. He just can't. Get it away! Cut it off! You know.
Well, as someone who has seen my fair share of foreskins, they're not that scary. And I'm really kind of grateful that Canada allows boys to remain intact without being shamed.
Yeah. You can't worm there. Oh God.
I'm missing it. To be completely honest, I'm missing it. I'd like it to be there, and I feel like it should be covered up. Sometimes it gets cold. It gets too cold. I don't mean to, I had a natural response.
Put his jacket on.
Cold,
Put that jacket on.
Women always say you can't really speak for women, so I can't speak for men, but often when men in the States are arguing about why they circumcise their children, well, I don't have it and I don't miss it. And it's like, well, what do you know? Like, you've never had it. So you don't know what you're missing. Like, I get what you're saying, but why not give them the choice? Like, and I've stumped a few guys. They're like, you're kind of right. Like, I don't know what I'm missing.
Patreon goals. It's funny. We'll just make a little scarf, a penis scarf for Brent Lee. There.
Okay,
thank you. Yeah, somebody knit that for me? It gets cold. It gets cold. All right. Yeah, I'm from Florida. Everything's cold.
It's cool. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
you need to sell them online.
No, listen. I'm gonna get sunburned. I'm gonna peel the skin off, and then I'm gonna use that to make it.
That's
too
gross.
Man.
No. Mike, why is it that every time you come on this show is just
generate
What is it about you?
This is why
I
had to get out of bed.
That's why I come here.
This is your fault, by the way. This is your fault.
Anytime.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate that, man. If the people want to find out more about your book and where they can find it, where can they go?
The BibleSaysWhat.com is my main site. We have the book. I can get you signed copies there. I got stickers. I got shirts. This is our new shirt, actually. It's got the thing in the
I like
actually and the back It's got
Oh, there we go.
Nice. Oh, perfect.
kind of like tour date style, but with like fucked up verses.
Yes. It's like awesome index for people like me who really don't know anything about the Bible because I never cared as a kid.
There you go.
Yeah,
I love it.
Arguments, I just need them right there. I can just like take a picture. Yeah,
Take some
perfect.
reference.
So, Michael, have you recorded the audiobook yet?
No, I have not had time, but one day I will.
Oh,
You should.
Yeah. And it's got to be you doing it. Don't get a voice actor, man. It's so much better when the
I was
author
thinking
is
to
the
have
one
Brent
saying
do it, actually.
Okay, I can do it. I can
Okay.
do it. All right. I just forget everything I just said. I'll do it.
the idea of having the author do it though, because they know what the tone and the inflection of the book is intended to be, so they can really, truly kind of.
We'll get Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, but me and Mike are tight.
you
He
go.
can like totally.
Yeah. No, I agree, Brentley. In this instance, it should definitely be you. 100%.
Yes. And Morgan Freeman.
I'm going to record it, but
that
I'm
too,
going to
yeah.
pretend to be Michael.
There you go. There you go. I like that. That's a good
I can
one.
do a good Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
Nah, I'm not
Sold.
going to do it. Don't ask me to
Bible
do it.
says what.com. Can we put that in the links of the show?
Absolutely.
We'll,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can-
It'll already be there.
Exactly. So you can click the button. It'll go to.
In fact, I think it's already there on the first episode.
There we go. Sounds great. Perfect. Excellent. Mike, before I
Awesome.
let you go, I got to have you say, hi, this is Mike Wiseman of The Bible Says What, and I took a left in the valley.
Hello, this is Mike Wiseman from The Bible Says What, and I again took a left at the valley.
Fantastic. And that was our friend Mike Wiseman of The Bible Says What. Oh, God, that show always, with him, it always degenerates into everything.
That's most of it.
So get his book. It's nice and comprehensive, easy to read. You can totally check if you're not sure about a lot of, like, if you're like Sabrina, you're not super familiar necessarily with the Bible. It's a bit of a guide, if you wish. You can really kind of read his books. Really see that? Then you flip to the Bible and say, God damn it, it does. Right? So,
I love that idea.
yeah, because like I said,
It's a fact check, right?
It is, and there's way too many Christians that just
gloss over that kind of stuff.
I read the Bible twice, and yet I could still not pick up some of the complete differences that you have just in the Gospels, right? Because you just absorb into the world and you just take it, just like when you read a novel or you watch a movie. You say, okay, I'm in the world of Lord of the Rings. There are like demons and there's orcs, and now I'm in the world of the Bible. There are fishes and loaves and shit like that. Well,
Rock monsters. Right?
Rock monsters, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have a bit of a guide on the side, that can really kind of pull you to the side. Wait a minute, did you think about this? Because often you just read and you get into that automatic pilot mode, and you don't think much about it, and it just goes on and on and on, and you just don't see the differences in the book. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a little early.
That's a bit early, indeed.
Don't you need to plug a little stuff here and there and talk about subscribing and liking to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/left?
What are you even talking about?
There's some Patreon. What is the Patreon again?
Patreon. That was patreon.com/left at the no,
Yes,
LATV. That's what it is.
And then there's Unapologetics panel stream. Is that it?
I think it was. Was that?
Yeah,
what it's
that's how
Every
it's said.
Wednesday.
I think I've officially just been fired
sometime.
from the show now. Thank you so much to Mike Wiseman for being our guest. And thank you to Sabrina, Brent Lee, and Benjamin for being my host. And thank you for listening. You can follow us at leftatvalley.ca. Send us an email at leftatvalley@outlook.com. You can give us a 5-star review. It helps us. It helps others find the show wherever you're listening. You can follow us at LATV Podcast on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at leftatvalley.com. No, sorry, facebook.com/leftatvalley.
Yep.
What am I missing? Go to Patreon, patreon.com/LATV, and help us grow the show.
Yes.
Grow it.
Anything else I'm missing? Brent?
Always.
What we got coming up on Apologetics, everybody?
Oh, we got like crazy videos like coming up that are just, Benjamin's got this crazy music video locked and loaded. It's the third video that's gonna go.
It's another cover song
on the next. Oh God,
I'm excited.
It's gonna be a mess.
Wednesdays at 11:30.
11:30, yes, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, and
Actually,
yeah,
it's
be there.
Eastern D time, daylight time right now. Anyway, just to point it out.
Coming up next week is probably going to be my favorite show of the year. It's our Halloween Ghost in the Valley special. We'll just be talking around virtual campfire talking ghost stories. That should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, in November, we'll be talking to Dr. Edward Hodge of UVic, talking about the Freeman movement. We'll be talking to Living That Happily. We'll be talking to Return to Hinduism, see what Hinduism is all about. We'll be talking to our return champion, Dr. Ben Davis, about nuclear physics.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking to our friend as well, Bernard Labarette, about his new book. And in December, we'll be talking to Spencer Kurtz about marine biology as well. So we've got a lot of great things coming down the pipe.
We do. Busy all the way to the end of the year.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else I'm missing here?
Having a great week as always.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, guys.
Don't do
Until next
that.
time.
Have a horrible week. I didn't mean that. I didn't
Horribly
mean that.
fine. Have
I didn't
a
mean
week
it.
you deserve
I
to
didn't
have.
mean it. It was just a joke. Okay. Okay, guys.
God damn it, Benjamin. Like, God.
Next time.
Just a joke.
What am I going to do again?
Now, knock on wood, y'all. Okay.
I swear to God, unintended, I find it disgraceful.